go. Hello, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing on this magnificent Monday? On this motivational Monday, I am hungry. I am starving because of the fact that I, excuse me, turn my little light on. I'm not gonna be before you long, as the preachers say. But I haven't eaten today. Hi, Art Kitty. I haven't eaten today. I need my dog to bark because I got to get a colonoscopy tomorrow. So there we go. Oh, princess. Shut up. So not because I'm old, but because my dad had colon cancer in his 40s. So yes, I am 40. I know I look good to be 40. But yeah, I have to get that because he had colon cancer at 40. I want to take care of myself. That's important to me. So that's the reason why. So I'm hungry, but I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna do my thing. So if you don't know me, my name is Toria Howard. I am a real estate investor, realtor, and a credit repair consultant. I help people. Also, I help people get financing for their real estate projects. So if you're looking for you buy or sell, or you need some help with your finances, or you need some funding for your real estate deals, I am your girl. So like I said, not gonna go hold you long because I do have to get on this training. So I did want to come and talk about panicking. I am a person that does this, so I have to make sure that I don't do it. Sometimes in the situations when I think it's out of control, I get a little irrational. So I'm talking to me. So drop a one in the chat if this if you're watching this live, drop a two in the chat. If you are watching the replay, drop a three in the chat if this is your first time on my live. So I just wanted to talk about don't panic when things don't go as planned. It may be that your plan doesn't align with God's purpose for you. Now, I have a problem with doing that myself because I like to have things when I want it, when I want it, where I want it, now. So, yes, my day is going well. Thank you, Arkeni. So, hope your day is going well as well. So, I have to make sure that I have to stop. I got to get out of my own way and have to make sure that I align my purpose with God's plan because sometimes I get ahead of Him and I want to do things, my way. And I end up getting myself into situations where I end up panicking. And then your response matters. So I always, like I said, come bearing a scripture because God is the CEO of my life and my businesses. So go to my notes right quick. So Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and hope." So you have a future, you have hope, but sometimes we all get out of alignment with what that is because we want things to happen when we want it. I am a person that does that. I'm impatient. I am sometimes I react to my emotions, you know, so I have to reel myself back in, and that's a growth that I've learned while being as an entrepreneur. I have to stop going so fast. I have to slow down and think. And when I don't slow down and think, I make a lot of mistakes. I make a whole lot of mistakes that I should not make. And if I would slow down and think, I wouldn't make those mistakes because I panic. And I think like, oh my God, what do I got to do? What I got to do? Instead of slowing down and asking God for the solution. So what is the solution? I don't know. I can't come up with it because apparently I didn't get myself into something that I can't get out of. So now I have to go and ask for the solution. And I feel like I shouldn't ask for the solution when I feel like it's my fault that I got into this situation. So to rectify that situation, I need to make sure that I'm patient enough to stop and think before I act. Because me being impatient has gotten me into a lot of trouble. Even as a child, I always wanted what I wanted when I wanted, and I rushed into things and I end up making a lot of mistakes. Just like I wanted to hurry up and graduate from Michigan State. For what? I don't know why. I just wanted to hurry up and get out of school. But I knew I wasn't graduating in the degree that I really wanted to do. But because I was so hasty and was like, I just want to hurry up and get out, I graduated with a degree I hated. And I wasted a lot of time and money. So that was, one of the most crazy things. But I panicked because I felt like I had this timeline, like it was this clock that was hanging on me. How many of you think you got a clock that's like right here that you can see, you can hear it, and it's like you got to do something by this certain time or you're a failure. And that's what happened in that time. Like if I don't graduate now, it feel like I'm a failure. I feel like, but I should have changed my major when I came back from Toyota because living in a cubicle, that's what they did at Toyota. Toyota is a great company to work for, don't get me wrong. They have great benefits and everything, but they worked all the time. They married each other. It was weird. I was like, I don't want this life. Sitting in a cubicle looking at spreadsheets all day. Like, this can't be life. I've never been that type of worker. I've never been that type of person that like to sit in one spot. I talk on my hands, as you can see, and I'm not trying to do it on purpose. That's just what I do. I'm very animated. So for me to be able to sit into a cubicle every day, all day, looking at spreadsheets and marrying one of my coworkers, that wasn't the life I wanted to live. But me being hasty, I wanted what I wanted when I wanted my degree. I wanted it now. And then 9/11 hit. And yeah, the supply chain management, like now, supply chain is crazy right now because of the pandemic. But when 9/11 hit, that messed up the supply chain for a long time. And I couldn't find a job when I graduated. And I ended up becoming a substitute teacher, which I loved, which people like, you love to be a substitute? I didn't play no games. All my students know, even when I was a substitute, I didn't play any games. So, I was cool with all the kids. They were, everything was cool. I mean, I had, a couple of riffs, but back then, I was real quick on my feet. So it was like, I still am. But I was only 22 and I did what I did. I went and I loved it, went and got a master's, did that. Great. Then I got into the school system and stayed way too long. Stay way too long because I was comfortable being uncomfortable. And I panicked because I felt like if I don't do this, then what am I going to do? So I kept going, I kept going, I kept going until I finally got sick of it and said, I can't do this anymore. But I mean, it wasn't too late, but I wasted a lot of years. I wasted 15 years of my life. And not because I didn't love the kids, because I do. I love teaching people. I love educating people. I love to do that part. I love being around the children. I love that part. It was just the whole system was just flawed, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I decided to bet on myself, and here I am. But I've made still some hasty decisions. I panicked in a lot of sense because I'm basically failing forward. If you know what I mean. And there's nothing wrong with failing forward. But I've made a lot of mistakes in my businesses because of the way that I had to get out of my employee mindset. I had to take away all of that in order for me to be able to transform my thinking. I needed to transform my thinking. So now instead of panicking, because I noticed that the last time I went out of town and something happened, I panicked and I did something irrational, and then it didn't even make sense the reason why I did it. That was the last time I did that because I was like, you know what? I have to stop doing this to myself. I have to stop thinking that I got this clock that's ticking on top of me that's going to make me fail if I don't reach a certain point at a certain time. I got to stop making that clock that's in my own head because nobody else holding the clock over my head but myself. So I got to stop having this clock that's over me that's making me rush and panic and do these things when it's not God's plan. I have stepped out of alignment a lot of times because I wanted to do my plan instead of his plan. And once I realized that, a lot of things have fell into my lap. You know, when I didn't want to be, like in a situation where I didn't, be successful. So, but I had to make sure that I was doing it all for the right reasons and not because I wanted to have something so quickly, so fast. When success does love speed, but not in a panic or a rush. Yeah, I'm still growing though, Arkenny. I'm still growing, but I haven't made it to where I want to be, but I'm getting there. I'm growing. So I want to make sure that I take this clock away from the top of my head that's been plaguing me all these years that I always got to think I have why do I have to have a time frame on what I want to do? Yes, you set goals, but it's okay if they don't come when you want them. Maybe something else, or maybe I'm just not aligned with what I'm supposed to do. That's why I'm delayed. So I have to reflect. I do a lot of more reflecting now than I do with blaming, anything else besides me being, a hasty person. You know, I'm impulsive. How many people are impulsive? Am I the only one? Because impulsivity will make or break you, and will most likely break you because the patience, they say, is patience is a virtue. So, like I said, panic represents purpose, activates needed increase in consciousness. So when you're panicking, let it activate your consciousness to say, hey, what is the solution, Lord? What is, or whoever you pray to or meditate, whatever, meditate on it. Think about it before you act. And that's what I had stopped doing. Well, I never done it in my life. Let's get that straight. I never let my, thoughts, marinate, kind of situations marinate. I always just reacted on my emotions right then, right there. It's right here. And that part has made me lose a lot. I lost money. I lost, opportunities. So, um, yeah, I mean, a lot of people have it at times, Kenny. So, I have to make sure I reel myself back in and don't do those type of things. I don't need to panic and rush because of what? Because I have this invisible clock on top of my head. Is it there? Only in my mind is there. Nobody else can see this clock but me. But because I see this clock, I always got to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and it's very it it messes things up. You don't live the life you're supposed to live, and things are going to be delayed when you rush. So you have to realize that rushing, being hasty, doesn't get you anywhere. All it does is make you stress, and you mess up, and you have to try to figure out a solution to the mistakes that you made. So, like I said, don't panic when things don't go as planned. It may be that your plan doesn't align with God's purpose for you, right? So, panic. Purpose activates needed increase in consciousness. Whenever you panic, when you feel like you're about to panic, just calm down, think about what you need to do, you know, talk to your higher power, whoever it is, to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do in that right time. Everything has a time, everything has a place. And you have to make sure you're walking in that, guiding your footsteps. So understand that the Lord orders your steps, and our plans might not be his plan. And when you panic and get out, and then you ask God to provide you with a solution, then it's too late at that point. Now you got to play catch up. So Proverbs 16:9 says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Are you allowing God to guide your footsteps? Are you allowing God to guide your footsteps? And I had to make sure that I did the same thing, that I allow God to guide my footsteps. He told me to trust him when I was laying in that bed that night, toiling about going to work. I couldn't even sleep. I didn't want to go to work so bad, even though all I had to do was walk down to the computer. So we was virtual. I still didn't want to go. So I chose to do that. But then, in a sense, I still was reacting on my emotions later on. And I forgot all about what he told me to do, which was trust him. So, like I said, don't panic when things don't go as planned. It may be that your plan doesn't align with God's purpose for you. Dang, it's really going on outside. Living in Memphis. I thought Detroit was bad, boy. I don't know Memphis people talking about Detroit. I don't hear more sirens than anything, anywhere. But anyway, but I got to get on this training. Let y'all go. I thank you for tuning in. Please like, share. If you feel like this message, register with you, drop a heart in the comments. And I'll see you guys later. Have a blessed night. Bye.